Hello, thank you for joining us in Azure in 5 Minutes video series. My name is Onur Doğroz and I'm a partner technology strategist in TS2 team. In this video, I'll be showing you how to configure Azure backups. Let's get started. Of course, you need to sign in your Azure Management Portal first, and then after signing in, you'll see the new button on the left-hand side, and under the Data Services, Recovery Services, Backup Vault, you'll see the Quick Create option. You just need to provide a name for your backup vault, and you need to select the region. As you see, we have a lot of regions available. For this demo, I'll select the East US, and then you click Create Vault. In a couple seconds, we'll see Vault will be created. Our backup vault is now ready. Let's go ahead and configure our server. In order to do that, just click on the backup vault name, and this will take us to the Quick Start page. On this page, we can see the summary of actions that we need to do in order to configure our servers. First, we need to download the vault credentials. So I click on the download vault credentials, and in a couple seconds, Azure prepares the vault credentials file for me, and I'll be able to save that file. So I save that file into the downloads folder, and the next step will be downloading the Azure Backup Agent. As you see, we have two different backup agent options here. The first one is for the Windows Server or the System Center DPM or the Windows clients, and the second one is for the Windows Server Essentials. In this demo, I'll download the Windows Server agent. I clicked on the agent and I'll just run the setup. Now the agent is downloaded and the setup wizard started. If you want, you can change the installation folder or the cache location. I'll just leave them at defaults. And if you have a proxy that you use to connect to the internet, you can add your proxy settings at this stage. And installation also checks out the required software. Okay. Now the agent is installed, and I can proceed to the registration. In the registration, we will now use the vault credentials that we downloaded in the previous step. So I'll go ahead and select the vault credentials. As you see, it shows our backup vault, the region that vault resides in, and it also shows our subscription identifier. And in the next step, I need to set up the encryption. All the data that you back up to the Azure vaults are encrypted on your server. So whatever you push out to Azure is fully encrypted before leaving your server. And in order to do that, we need to generate a passphrase, or you can enter your own passphrase as well. I'll select the generate passphrase option, and I'll save this passphrase file on my desktop. But be careful, without this file you'll not be able to recover any of the backups, so you want to put this file in a very secure location. And I'll hit finish, and this will basically go out and register the server, set up the encryption on my server, and make everything ready for taking up the backups. Perfect. Now the registration wizard completed the job. I can launch the Microsoft Azure agent. Now I'm on the server. I need to schedule my backup. First of all, of course, we need to decide files, folders to include in our backup, and I'll select these folders. I have a folder called Data folder where I have my customer data for this demo. So I'll select that folder to be backed up. Click Next. Here, the first step, you need to select your schedule for the backups. You can have maximum of 3 backups a day. For this demo, I'll select 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. as my backup times. Click Next, and you'll see the new retention policy screen. In this new retention policy screen, we have the daily retention policies, weekly retention policies, monthly retention policies, and the yearly retention policies. I want to keep my daily backups for, let's say, 45 days, and then I want to keep my weekly backups for, let's say, 3 months. The monthly backups, I want to keep them for maybe a year, and I want to keep my yearly backups for 10 years. And I want my yearly backups on January 1st, so I'll keep that one only. When I click Next, the next setting, choosing the initial backup type. The first option, the automatically over the network option, will basically take your backups over the network to the Azure backup. But if you have a lot of data, you can also now create an offline backup and send it over to the Azure data center. For this demo, I'll just select automatically backup over the network. As in all Microsoft wizards, now I have summary in front of me. I'll hit finish. As you see, it's now creating the backup schedule. We're done with the wizard. Our backup schedule is created and the backups will start as scheduled. But for this demo, I'll hit backup now to trigger the backup for the first time. And now I'll hit backup. And the agent basically takes a snapshot of the drive first, looks at the files. Now it's preparing the storage. Now our backup is completed. And you can see I have the latest copy, oldest copy, and since this was the first backup, it took some time. But if I trigger another backup, you can see that it will be much faster. If we go back to our Azure Vault in the dashboard, you can see that I have one server registered. In the protected items tab, you can see the server, the folder that I'm protecting, and under the servers, you can see your server's name listed here. And that completes our Azure backup configuration. You can watch other Azure in 5 minutes videos on azure.msts2.com. Thank you for joining me.